The Adelaide Cup, race number 7 from the Morphettville Racecourse, is coming up soon. Scrupulous at $16 as they head around to the barrier stalls. Shane Arnold, the rider of Scrupulous. Darren Gauci on Skybo, $4.60. Dark Tsar at $15 for Damien Oliver. A jockey that's been riding well is Alf Matthews. He's been engaged for Cockade, $17. Ice Doctor for Ricky Peach at $26. Top Rating. Simon Price is on board. Top Rating, $25. Lord Ted. Greg Hall riding for Lee Friedman, $9.20. Marine Boy, Dwayne Dunn, is $32. Our Pompey, Michael Carson riding Our Pompey, $13. Now Cronus, Shane Dye at $3 and favourite, $2.20 New South Wales now. Rover at $14 for Chris Muntz. Darren Holland riding Seattle Hawk, the winner of the Warrnambool Cup, at $54. Bright Spot there is at $19 for Sam Highland, and Kipling is the roughie in the race at $68. And that is Kipling there. It would be an upset if it was to score in the Cup. Gee, this pool is just building and building all the time. $716,000. Now here's the mahogany colours coming into view on this very nice 3-year-old. Lord Ted is part owned by Mr. Kerry Packer and Mr. Lloyd Williams of the Crown Casino in Melbourne, and Lord Ted goes around as the only 3-year-old. Here he is sporting those mahogany colours, and he will be led up to barrier 2 in just a moment. In fact, he should be in barrier order, the second horse to be led into the gates, and there he goes. Greg Hall on board Lord Ted. Sub-Zero was the last 3-year-old to win this race, and he went on to win the Melbourne Cup about 6 months later. I wonder if we'll see the Melbourne Cup winner go around in this race today. We probably remember the Adelaide Cup best for that incredible performance of Lord Reams, who won 3 of these cups in the late 1980s. 3 consecutive cups, Lord Reams. He was a terrific horse, and you can just remember Adelaide Cup Day in the late 80s. He just dominated the race, Lord Reams. He was unbeatable in this race over the 2 miles. Let's go to Morphettville for the running of the 1997 Adelaide Cup. Here's Ron Paps.
The Living Health Adelaide Cup, Group 1, 3,200 metres. Kipling goes in. Cockade joins them. Lord Ted's already set. Rover goes in. Now Dark Tsar. They're getting set quickly. Bright Spot will be the last. They lock Bright Spot in, a $600 purchase. And now competing for many, many thousands of dollars. The Living Health Adelaide Cup, they're set. Stand by for a dispatch. It's cup time. Waiting on the light. There it is. And they're off. Caught them pretty well. Skybo, the exception, missed it a half length or so, and one of the best out was Cronus, and Our Pompey and Cockade is popular too. He's up there bright and early. Just in behind those then, Kipling followed further back in the field then by Top Rating. Where's Dark Tsar, stablemate? He's up running second and pulling. Further back in the field behind them, Scrupulous, and then came on the outside Rover. 2 lengths to Ice Doctor, followed by Marine Boy. 1.5 further back in the field as Cronus goes to the centre of the track already. He's happy to cover ground. Die. Further back behind those then Lord Ted, who's one of the last, and back there with him too was Skybo. Out wide on the track, Cronus is the leader. Down on the inside, Top Rating. Now obviously Shane Dye feels that the worst section of the track is the home turn, because he's happy to come back in again, and down to the post they work with just over a circuit to go in the 97 Cup. And the leader on the inside Rating, doing it nicely for the moment, is in front there is Top Rating, and close handy, or Dark Tsar I should say, it's in front from Cronus. A big roar from the crowd. Bright Spot's bowled up to be third, and then Our Pompey. They were followed on the outside by Cockade, and Kipling was next. Further back then came Scrupulous. Back in the field behind those then as they head out of the straight and work towards the far side was Dark Tsar, and further back behind Dark Tsar with 2,000 metres to go was Rover, and just up there with him Lord Ted. Wider out was Ice Doctor. They were followed by Marine Boy. Further back in the field now we have second last, and getting well back out of ground, Seattle Hawk, and last of all Skybo giving away a dozen lengths. A new leader going into the far side at the 1800, and the leader now is Bright Spot. Bright Spot has dashed out to lead. Bright Spot shows the way by about 2 lengths to Dark Tsar in third placing. Cronus camped third. Another length and a half. Cockade is close handy. With him was Our Pompey, has travelled up pretty well, and as they move along that far section of the course there, Our Pompey has now started to sneak into it, and and also Kipling is close handy, 1.5 lengths away then to Top Rating. They were followed further back by Scrupulous. They are starting to bunch up a little. Lord Ted was worse than centre field from Ice Doctor, further back then to Rover with only 3 behind him, and one of those at that point was Seattle Hawk, and Marine Boy second last, and Skybow still 2 away last of all, save for a late run. 1,200 to go. Cronus has gone to second behind Bright Spot. Back in third placing our Pompeii, and still there Kipling, and Cockade is also there, and so too in that division as they prepare to move down the side. Ostoctor goes off at the 1,000, 4 and 5 wide. They were followed further back behind those then as they come down the side of the course now, travelling up to them. Top Rating but wide, and further back in a traffic jam. Skybow goes deep to avoid a scrimmage. They were followed back by Kipling, who's given ground. Scrupulous as well back. Our Pompeii's dropped out to a long last now, and Ice Doctor swept to the front, a length and a half clear. Here comes Dye making his move on Cronus out wider. Even deeper Lord Ted starting to work home with some authority. They were followed back behind those then by Top Rating, Dark Czar. Some of these are starting to struggle. Wider out Marine Boy is running home well, but Dye's got to the front now. Cronus has sailed to the lead. Lord Ted looking the danger, and they were followed wider out down the extreme outside by Rover making ground. Rover is out after Cronus. Lord Ted is still there. Here's one hell of a war. Cronus, Lord Ted the centre, and out wide Rover. Lord Ted's gone to Cronus. Lord Ted in front. Cronus fighting back the inside. The Kiwi's going to be too strong, and Kiwi, Cronus, he had the owners on them, and he's won a neck fighting win. Second Lord Ted, third on the outside Rover. What a fantastic cup finish. Further back behind those then, close up was Skybow. He got a long way back out of ground. Dark Czar just ahead of him, I think, has run fourth. Then Skybow fifth, further back at long intervals Scrupulous. Top Rating followed further back by Seattle Hawk. Marine Boy Ice Doctor gave them a fright coming to the turn. Cockade didn't get the 2 miles. Well back in the field then. Amongst the last in were our Pompeii and Kipling, and Cronus has fought back to win the cup. Bright Spot has eased down very quickly over the line and has already turned back to come back to the enclosure. Lord Ted has hit the front. No risk for mine. He's hit the front, Lord Ted. But the Kiwi, who has been ridden somewhat of a zigzag course by Shane Dye, has fought back to win. Cronus, number 10. Cronus has won the cup. He's a 4-year-old bay gelding, and we now know that the Zabiels can get 2 miles. He's run the 3200 out with great authority after being headed and claimed by Lord Ted out of a mare called Foreign Copy, and Cronus has won in strong fashion. Foreign Copy, a bold venture mare, trained at Matamata in New Zealand by Roger James, ridden by Shane Dye, who has, with this win today, equalled Malcolm Johnson's record for the most number of black type wins in one season, and he's still got a bit to go in Brisbane. Number 10, Cronus by Zabiel, has taken the Living Health Cup. Number 7, Lord Ted, has run second by Lord Ballina from Manawa Bell, Greg Hall for Lee Friedman. Third placing goes to Rover. What a big run by Rover, by Grosvenor from Ivy Myrtle, Chris Muntz for Colin Alderson. And officially fourth is number 3, and that is Dark Czar, the old-timer running a big race. Dark Czar by Czar Royal has run officially fourth. It is 10, 7, 11 and 3 with number 2 Skybow, who got a long way back out of ground running fifth. And the margin is a half neck by 1 length by 3 1/4. Half a neck by 1 length by 3 1/4. And here's Shane Dye bringing Cronus back now. And this Kiwi stayer has still got a bit of zip in his step after being seemingly well and truly headed by Lord Ted. There's the gentleman, Greg Hall, waiting for Shane to come back to lead the parade back to the saddling paddock. Rover, a gallant third, brilliantly ridden by Chris Muntz. And this little stayer looks to have a very, very solid future. He's only a pony, Rover, and he's done the job particularly well. Actually, Colin Alderson at one stage trained another runner in that race, and that was Cockade. And that horse is now at another stable, but Rover finishing well ahead of Cockade today. And when you look at Rover before us here now, there's just nothing of him. He's a tiny little fellow, and he's done the job in brilliant fashion. Well, This carnival, I think, will be remembered by some fine performances, but I think overall too by the fact that we've been blessed with the appearance of some of the outstanding talent of the best riders, not only here in the Southern Hemisphere, but really in the world today, and, well, there's no exception. Shane Dye up in the saddle, the cap is off, and the crowd are loving it. Shane Dye bringing Cronus. It's a favourite winning the Cup. Why wouldn't they love it? And there he is, as some refer to him, Billy Idol, bringing Cronus back to scale after the... In fact, it was nearly off there for a moment, after winning the Cup at the expense of Greg Hall, gallant in defeat on Lord Ted, and little Chris Muntz on an even little horse in Rover, a gallant third.
Thanks for that, Ron. Good call of the Adelaide Cup. And that's Shane Dye's 12th Group 1 winner for the season. You mentioned he's equalled the record of Malcolm Johnson. That's 12 Group 1 wins for the season. The record there is held by George Moore, who clocked up 17 Group 1 wins in a season. And as Ron said, he'll be off to Brisbane now. There's still plenty of Group 1s left. I mean, we've got the Queensland Derby, the Oaks, the Stradbroke Handicap, the Brisbane Cup and the 2-year-old Classics, including the Castlemaine. So, well, I don't know whether Shane can win them all. 17 is certainly a big goal, 17 Group 1 wins, but there's 12. Look at all these TV cameras. They love Shane Dye, don't they? But what a terrific performance by the second horse. I think he's going to develop into a terrific Cups horse come the spring. Lord Ted from the Freedman stable, with only a 3-year-old, and the only 3-year-old in the race, mind you, over 2 miles. He is going to mature into a real Cups horse, although so is the winner, I guess. Cronus. He'll be... aimed at the Caulfield and Melbourne Cups, I would say, later in the year after you've just won a 2-mile race. I guess that's the first thing that goes through your head. Melbourne Cup. A Latin quarter, $4.30 here.